So, lagi nating maririnig yung NOI, Net Operating Income. Maririnig niyo yan. Maririnig niyo din yung cap rate, capitalization rate. Previously, we discussed a little bit about cap rates and NOI. Ang cap rate is the rate na mag-generate mo when you divide the net operating income by price. Pinag-uusapan yan kapag walang debt ang property. Curious lang ako, si Ate Berna ba ang nag-inform sa'yo about this?
Yeah, kasi we had last Friday, meron kami Bible study. And then, nabanggit niya. Kasi sabi ko, I'm thinking of investing or bibili ng bahay, parang ganon. Basta mo na, sister, sabi niya, try to check, invite kita. So, ganyan, nabanggit niya na meron na kayong multi-units, I think. 28 units, gano'n.
28 units, awa ng Diyos, oo.
I'm just interested how it works kasi I like real estate. I consider that real estate kasi for multi-units, diba?
Correct.
So,
exactly.
It aroused my curiosity.
Yeah, actually, nako, I've been in real estate din kasi for many years na rin bilang realtor, agent. So,
Oo, ay nakikita kita. Kaso lang, tapos parang biglang napansin ko you're not like you used to be na very active sa media, sa radio. Akala ko kasi that you went maybe out of Winnipeg and then lately nakikita na naman kita.
Actually,
wala nakikita names sa ads, ganun ha, hindi yung person.
Marami nga nagtatanong kasi more than one year, nagkaroon ako ng change on my real estate, to parang direction. Although real estate pa rin siya, it's more of in the investing side. So, ang first move ko talaga na in-implement is to free myself ng time. Dahil first and foremost, being a real estate broker, hindi ganun kadali yung schedule talaga. It's take a lot of your time.
Marami akong nakakilalang yan ang profession dito sa Winnipeg. And so I have audited also some or a few. Kaya alam ko yung flow.
I know, that's right. So you have an accountant ka by background. Pareho kayo ni Sister Berna.
Oo, CPA, CMA, and also pangalan nito. Nagwo-work ako sa CRA. I was in audit for 11 years.
Oh, wow.
Audit. Marami ako na-audit na realtors, real estate agents, gano'n.
Until now, you're actively...
Hindi na. Sa HQ na ako, I am now handling real estate. Yung di ba nagkaroon tayo ng mga housing affordability crisis, housing crisis. Kami yung gumawa ng mga plan to start working on that kaya 3-year pilot project. So let's see.
That's very nice. So ang meron ka, so umbrella ka ng, is it provincial or federal?
Federal ako, CRA ako.
Federal, okay. So under the CRA program.
More under kami ng Minister of National Revenue.
Oh, nice. Magandang venture, kumbaga, in the future. Especially, very active kasi ang real estate group, like the real estate boards, yung ating real estate association sa buong Canada. Dahil hindi lang naman dito sa atin meron talagang crisis sa housing. It's been... grabe, especially in the US, na ang affordable housing is somehow talagang a big, like huge, like massive, sabi nga. And it will continue to...
lang naman yun ng mga yung may kayang gumawa.
Which is really, I mean, they are the one who's parang I would say mahirap hindi makontrol or something. Out of, di ba? Hindi natin kayang i-control. But anyways, in our own way, it's good to be in that kind of direction yung ginawa namin dito especially dito sa aming partnership sa real estate.
Oh, so it is a partnership. Okay. Kasi I'm curious ako kung what type, kung it is a partnership or shares, kasi may investment, di ba, na malaki. No?
Exactly. So what we are gearing towards to is to grow yung portfolio na to into, and then focus talaga sa multifamily. Like ang initial na naging acquisition namin, just to share, is the 28 units apartment. So one building na nasa magandang location. I don't know if na-share ni Ate Berna na saan siya.
No, yun lang nabanggit niya.
Yeah. So it's in a very good neighborhood, which is in the Garden City area. So anyway, sure, nandito ka sa atin sa local market, and for sure, kahit actually the real estate community is also very active, like the CMHC. Well supported, 'di ba, ang affordable housing. Ang
crisis pa rin.
Yeah, and ang minsan lang, dahil of course being the government program, ang minsan na nagiging discussion is what type of property, the location, and then yung demand. Anyways, ang ginawa namin, kasi lalo na ako, masyado akong meticuloso pagdating sa investment eh. Kaya nga, bago ako nag-explore nito, I really did a lot of study, and tinitingnan ko paano yung trending. Kasi kahit sa...
Oh yeah, you need to.
Kahit sa aking career bilang realtor, and how I dealt with clients too, I wanna make it sure that this is something na pakikinabangan ng family. Hindi basta yung, nakabili lang ng bahay, that's it. Meron ka ng bahay, umalis ka na dyan sa apartment, eto na. I made...
Marami problema.
I always make it sure that pagka bumibili yung kliyente ko, alam niya majority ng ating aming kasama dito are my clients too. And they knew that minsan napapakialaman ko nga sila sa decision nila eh. Like kung gusto nila, parang ayoko. I just want to make it sure that they're in good real estate portfolio, kasi naniniwala pa rin ako that real estate in Winnipeg is still a very good real estate class. Like house, majority of the time, pag pinag-usapan ng bahay, it is a liability. Especially if you are very emotional doon sa pagbili mo ng house. But in Winnipeg, kapag marunong kang bumili and you are in a good location, nagiging nagiging leverage mo siya. So, baka magamit mo later on yung equity ng property mo towards investment. I always like that, even doon sa simulang-simula ng aking career in 2010 I started. So, but anyways, we're gonna discuss more of the importance of numbers when it comes to investing. Kasi majority of us, even I would say majority of my clients, ang understanding natin on investing is too small, which is one of the reasons why people are getting frustrated. When they think about the real estate investment side, they always think about, I have a house, meron na akong equity, I'm gonna buy another house para may paupahan ako. That's always the parang sirang plaka yan sa aking career. Na I have, Ate Mel, meron na akong equity sa house ko. I checked with my bank, eto na yung nabayaran ko, so meron na, pwede na tayong bumili ng second house. On my previous understanding, yes, of course, not knowing about how to explore on the real estate investing arena, which is totally different from the brokerage side of of real estate, which is a buy and sell, talagang it's just like the north and south pagdating sa education. For me, having an investment, another house on the side that is making you a little bit of money and then appreciating in value, for me, that's already a good one. Okay? Kaysa doon sa nakastock lang yung pera mo sa bahay na walang ginagawa. Kaya nung isang beses, we just parang naggumawa kami ng just as a post na if we have lazy money sitting somewhere doing nothing, tayo na may-ari ng pera na yon, which we consider our money, tayo yung magtatrabaho for the rest of our life. Kasi your money is sitting doing nothing. Kaya let our money work. Di ba lagi na sinasabi na let's put our money to work. Kasi it is only through it that you can retire working. I have had several interviews in the last week since our first itong introduction natin sa understanding numbers. I just had few mga almost on the retirement age. And they're like parang yung isa is actually retired na. And you know what they were saying? They wanna go back to work kasi parang wala na silang binabayaran sa bahay, wala na silang binabayaran na any other debts, but because they're paying taxes and they're paying their bills, they wanna go back to work. I was like, really? Parang alam mo yung bilang on this parang syempre you're exploring opportunities, you're in business. I am getting that kind of shock na marinig ko from our community who's been here for almost all their life and only to find out that at the end of their job or career and on their retirement age, maririnig mo sila na kulang I want to go back to work para at least ma-supplement ko yung pagbabayad ng bills, pagbabayad ng taxes and insurance. And I was like, really? Okay. So, ngayon, that's one of the I'm just highlighting what's going on in reality. Kaya sabi ko ngayon pa lang, we have to really open our mind and our hearts on investing. Kasi nga, if we keep on, ito yung mga typical Filipino. This is us, okay? This is us that we don't want to have debt. We want to be, gusto natin pag nag-retire na tayo, walang tayong iniintinding bayarin or something. But here's the thing, it will never stop. Our bills will never stop. Our taxes will, sabi ko nga, on our past, like we always talk about this in our sessions na even if we already paid out our house, there's no such thing as home ownership here. You own the house. In reality, if we think about it, kasi if we own our house, dapat hindi tayo nagbabayad ng tax. So therefore, who really owns the property? Diba?
Mahirap property tax, diba? You're talking about the property tax. Yeah.
Exactly. Kasi we are not really the true, I would say, yung ownership. It's just something na, lang yon. It is, of course, dahil ikaw nakatira, ikaw nakapagbayad and you graduated from your mortgage, and you can say, I own this property. Pero in reality,
no. Yeah. But not
the reality is, exactly. So, that's that. So, meron tayong bills and it will never stop. It will never, as long as we live, we carry that. Kaya, minsan, even itong mga nagpaplanong mag-retire, nakausap namin the past few days, sabi nila, I think we really have to set something on our parang investment para nare-realize kasi nila that they have to have at least a passive income, something that will sustain. Actually, yun ang word. That's the word that made us think last July of 2024 when we were in the convention and kasi nga pinag-aaralan namin how is the real estate investing, how is it differs from what I knew about real estate. And just to be very, very open, I was like, oh yeah, talagang magkaiba yung dalawang na yon. And realizing that if I will not sell, or I will not help the seller sell or help the buyer buys, I will not get any income at all in my, so you have to keep doing that thing. And even in the field of house flip or buy and sell of houses na ginagawa namin, nagre-renovate, mag-aayos ng bahay, bibili ng ganito and then bebenta. If you will not continue doing those kind of activities, if you stop it, there's no income that will gonna flow. So sustainability is one of the reasons why we really have to invest something. And what kind of investment is that? And kaya na sinabi ni Beth na I love real estate. I love real estate too. That's in real estate. Parang this is my, pag pinag-usapan ng real estate, parang nabubuhay yung dugo ko. I know there is something in real estate that I really have to explore. And I'm so grateful, like super grateful that we were able to understand it. Na in a short period of time na nagkaroon kami ng yung understanding na yon and knowledge, we applied it right away and we acquired this building. Kaya super grateful for that opportunity. It's something na all related to numbers. And since I love real estate, I love numbers. When we talk about numbers, yun naman ang palibhasa ng aming accountant as although hindi ko na practice dito, but ang aking accountancy, I'm a CPA back home and we are in business. So parang yung language
pala tayo, pero practicing.
Correct. Yung language na yan, ang pakitaan mo ako ng numbers, I can tell you what's going on. So knowing and understanding these numbers that is significant in learning about the investment side of real estate, yun yung ang sarap nung nag-grasp namin. It's not I would say hindi ganun kadali, but napakasimple niyang intindihin. So first session natin was last Tuesday, and we discussed about what is the most important number in multifamily investing. So you being
multifamily units, ito no, residential units,
yeah.
Okay.
We're trying to really focus on what the government needs, kasi yun yung pinakamagandang pasukin, especially there's a lot of benefits on the tax side of it. Especially ayan, si Beth nandito for sure. She knows dahil isa pala siya sa part of the group na nagsimula on this affordable housing projects. Diba? Ako naniniwala kasi ako that the government and itong mga financial institutions, they're there to help us build our portfolio sa investment. Sa totoo lang. Pero ang tingin natin majority of the time sa government is, andyan sila to give us a heavy loads on taxes. Kasi nakikita natin yun kasi empleyado tayo. Ang mga financial institutions, we think about them as, ano ba yan, lagi na lang merong interest. Ang tataas naman ng interest nila. Pag nag-borrow tayo ng money, ang tataas naman ng interest nila. It is also because we use that money not to invest but to be parang kasi kulang yung ating kinikita, so parang ito na lang ang kasi credit card, borrow na line of credits or those kind of stuff. So ang nangyayari sa atin, tayo yung bayad ng bayad kasi hindi natin napapakinabangan yung opportunity that is there, supposed to be, para magkaroon tayo ng business on the side and mapakinabangan natin yung sinasabi ng government na meron tayong mga tax shelter kapag nagsimula tayong mag-invest at magnegosyo. Well, number one reason that we knew, of course, is tayong mga Pilipino, unang-una, hindi tayo well-oriented sa business and we are not well-oriented pagdating sa investment. We always think na, Kasi nakakatakot, diba? Lalo na kung uutangin natin yung pera natin, nakakatakot. Paano kung ganito? Lagi natin tinitingnan yung on the negative side na paano kung hindi na mag-progress yung business ko at paano kung hindi maging maganda yung investment ko. Lagi tayong on the negative. Walang masama doon. Okay? Walang masamang mag-isip on the negative note. But, huwag nating kalimutan yung positive side. What if gumanda yung business mo and what if yung investment na pinasok mo ay mag-grow? So, bihirang-bihira sa atin, tayo mga Pilipino, we are 100%, majority of us, I would say, parang ang 90, 97, 98, or maybe 99% of us are into service. Kasi we just wanna be in service or an employee and be on the safe side. Lagi tayong ganon. Napakagaling natin pagdating sa serbisyo. Pero pagdating sa pagnenegosyo, takot na takot tayo. Pagdating sa utang, takot na takot tayo. Pero we really don't ang tawag nito, yung lakas ng loob. Minsan tumitingin pa tayo sa iba just to get that guts. Pero remember, sa atin, all we have to do is to understand really how is it being done and ano ba talaga tong gusto kong gawin. And it all boils down sa, is there anything that I would really want to do in my life na pagdating sa ganitong panahon, I will say to myself that I did it and I can sustain my lifestyle the way I want it to be. Ako ang director ng sarili kong buhay. Ako ang may gusto ko yung ganito. Birang-bira sa atin yung ganon. Majority of the time, lagi tayo nagtatanong sa iba. Walang masamang magtanong, walang masamang. But you have to understand that merong opportunities na kagaya nito in real. Understanding numbers lang. So, una nating pinag-aralan is the number of units. Bakit hindi, although okay lang na magsimula sa isang bahay. Okay lang 'yon. Ito yung sinasabi sa akin ng coach natin, okay? When we were talking about investing in a single family home, which majority of us, even one of my client is here na meron silang rental property. Okay? It's a house na ngayon kumikita din and hands-on sila doon. My coach was saying, kung naniniwala ka na yung isang bahay or isang butas na tinatawag natin sa Tagalog, ganun tayo magsalita may isang butas ako or may dalawang butas ako. Minsan may paupahan ka, di ba? So, kung naniniwala tayo na yung single family can make us money, how much more is 30 units or 50 units with one address? Pero ito na naman tayo. Here's the mindset of Filipino. Nako, ang mahal niyan. Paano ko yan magagawa? Diba? So, but here's the thing. We can, napatunayan na natin yan. Nakakatuwa. We just closed that deal last week. Napatunayan natin kaya. May possibility pala. Pag pinagsama-sama yung effort nating maliliit, we can come up with something big, which is bigger than us. Kaya 'di ba, ever since the last year we were saying, hindi ko kaya, hindi mo kaya, pero pag tayong lahat, kaya natin. That's exactly what happened on this deal that we bought, the 28 units. Initially, because we have these numbers that we are trying to come up doon sa mentoring namin and coaching, sabi niya 28 units is small. Mas maganda magsimula ng 32 units. I was like, we're in the local market and it's just very close to our place. And then when we underwrite it, pumasok yung numbers. I was like, okay, local market, that's fine. 28 units is fine. Ang tinitingnan natin nun, it's malaki na siya, pero mas maganda pa rin pagka mas malaki doon. Kasi it's gonna be the same effort, the same kind of, alam mo yun, yung transaction, yung process, it's gonna be the same. Talking to the bank, talking to the lawyer, documentations, everything it's gonna be the same. for 28 units and 100 units or even 500 units. Ang pinagkakaiba lang dito, which sometimes it's hard to grasp, is the money involved, which merong previously parang ang hirap mag-raise ng funds, but right now it's just like if people see the opportunities, everything can be worked out. Number of doors is very important dahil yun ang magbibigay sa atin ng scale na tinatawag. That's the word. If you want to go scale your business to a bigger level, the number of units is the way to go. So ngayon pa lang, I'm not discouraging you to buy one house. Wala akong sinasabing ganon. Okay? What will make more sense is to buy more doors. If you wanna do it yourself, kung meron tayong ganong capacity to buy, why not? Pero kung wala, why not din na magsama-sama tayo at makabili tayo ng ganong klaseng property. This is what we are doing. Ang ating target is not, well, I would say, dahil realtor ako. No? Okay, I'm gonna say this. Market in real estate dito sa Winnipeg, houses is still on the upside. Hindi siya nagbabago. Marami pa rin mga buyers in the market. Marami pa rin. And I'm still very active on that side. Ang dami kong mga kliyente na napapalaban kami sa bidding wars. Nagkakaroon kami.
Growing pa rin kasi tayo kaya.
It's still there. Still there. Ang market natin is really...
At tagal pa yan. Growing eh.
Boom. Yeah. Nasa boom pa tayo dito. And in the US, it's totally different. Kaya nga, I was trying to understand what's going on there kasi sa kanila, ang multifamily sa US is on sale. Kung if you were gonna put it on the layman's word, on sale sila doon. Like maraming nagkakaroon ng renewal ng mortgages ang mga big institutions and they're letting go some of their portfolios. So, ganun na nangyari sa US. Dito sa Canada is different. Kaya masyado akong meticuloso pagdating sa kind of asset and location ng property ng bibili natin. So, that's the number one numbers that we have to really understand. The number of doors. Bakit hindi pwedeng isa lang? Bakit hindi pwedeng? Hindi naman sa hindi pwede. We would prefer to buy more than single, duplex, triplex, fourplex. Mas magandang bumili ng 50 units pataas. Sa ngayon, ang tinitingnan na naming portfolio is at least 100 units. Kasi mas magandang mag-scale kapag kaganong numbers ang pinag-uusapan. And even our financiers, our lenders, we just had a talk today just to give you an idea how these financial institutions are really on with us. They are with us saying, on our next acquisition. Sabi ganun. I was like, really? Talagang they're on us. We're gonna do this and that and this and that. So we already discussed about ano yung gagawin natin on our next acquisition. Ngayon pa lang, hindi pa man tayo nakakakita ng deals. We already talked about that. But we have to find deals, okay? So, another important numbers na kailangan nating maintindihan dito is, I would say let's discuss, kasi lagi niyong maririnig sa commercial or sa residential commercial na ganito, for class, apartment class na sinasabi. We have these apartment buildings, meron tayong tinatawag na apartment complexes. Yun yung mas marami, may mga amenities, etc. So, lagi nating maririnig yung NOI, Net Operating Income. Maririnig niyo yan. Maririnig niyo din yung cap rate, capitalization rate. Previously, we discussed a little bit about cap rates and NOI. Ang cap rate is the rate na mag-generate mo when you divide the net operating income by price. Pinag-uusapan yan kapag walang debt ang property. Binili natin ng cash, kumikita ng, let's say, just for the sake of an example, let's say kumikita ng net income, net operating income ng 50,000 yung isang building in a year. Okay? In 1 year. Binili natin siya ng 1 million. So, ano ang cap rate natin? That's 50,000 divided by 1 million. So, we have 5% cap rate. Nagagets nyo? So, that's how it is. Ngayon, knowing that formula, knowing that formula, kapag sinabi sa atin, Mel, ang property na to is making 100,000 and the cap rate is 5%. Ang bilis na nating mag-compute pagdating sa price, di ba? So, magkano yung building na yun? So, it's just gonna be 100,000 divided by 5%. Anong lalabas na presyo?
2 million.
2 million. Ganun kasimple ang napkin calculation, sabi nga. Ibig sabihin, without knowing too much of the details, alam mo lang yung net income at alam mo lang yung cap rate, madedetermine mo yung value ng property. So that's how significant those two numbers are. Yung net operating income na yon na hindi mo maririnig na sasabihin nilang net operating income. Ang maririnig mo sa kanila, NOI, NOI, NOI. Pagka nga ang group na kasama mo ay yung mga sanay na, parang NOI, ano yun? What's that? Diba? Cap rate. Ganun sila mag-usap and they can, understand, calculate it in their head without really getting their calculator. Alam na nila how much it is, more or less. So, knowing those two important numbers give us an idea of the value of the property. Ngayon, paano kung magkakaroon naman tayo ng vacancy? So, one important reason as well why we need a scale is to have a lesser percentage on vacancy. Kasi here's the thing. Kapag meron ka lang single family home na pinapaupahan mo, tapos biglang umalis yung tenant mo, how much vacancy do you have? Yes. Isa yung pinapaupahan mo, umalis yung tenant mo, ano na nangyari sa'yo?
You need an answer, 100%.
That's 100%. Diba? That's 100% vacancy. That's the reason why the number of doors is important, is because of the vacancy rate. If we have 5 doors and one of the tenants left, how much vacancy do you have?
20%.
20% kaagad. Diba? 10 units, 10 doors, may umalis na isa, how much vacancy do you have? 10%. Right? So, more doors, 100 units, may isang umalis. How many vacancy do you have?
1%.
Just 1%. And vacancy rate plays an important role in the valuation of a property. Sa multifamily investing, they will always ask, how much is the vacancy? O kaya, anong occupancy nyo? Pag sinabing what is the occupancy rate, yun yung kabaliktaran ng vacancy rate. So, kung meron kang 5% vacancy, you're gonna say 95 occupancy kami. So, that's how it is. When you try to compute $1 million, sabihin natin we have this gross rent na 100,000. Okay? 100,000. Let's try to compute na natin kung mag-generate tayo ng the same number. Kasi we're talking about numbers here. So, 100,000 a year gross rent. Ang vacancy natin is 95%. How much is our gross income? 95%.
Walang expenses?
Gross muna tayo. So, 100,000, 95% occupancy, we have 95,000. Correct? Then,
sabi mo vacancy kanina, occupancy ba?
Yeah, vacancy natin is 5%. Ima-minus natin yung vacancy natin sa ating gross rent. Then we will come up with the gross gross profit. So from 95,000, we have, let's say, 40% ang expenses. So magkano matitira sa atin na net operating income? That's 60%. That would be how much? 57,000. Tama ba? Same numbers tayo?
Around that, that range. Yeah.
57,000. So, dahil alam na natin ang ating net operating income, ang question is, how much is the cap rate para makita natin yung value ng property. So, let's say the cap rate is 5%, kagaya ng example natin kanina. Now, how much is the value of the property? Any guess?
1.140.
1,140,000.
40,000.
Naka-attend ka nga talaga ng Real Estate Interactive, Brian.
Yes po.
So, that's how it is. That's how significant these numbers are. Okay? In the real estate investment for multi-families portfolios, ang pinag-uusapan dito is the net operating income, cap rate, and yung occupancy rate or vacancy rate na pinag-uusapan. Yan yung significant numbers included in the valuation of the property. So, by just knowing this, roughly, yun nga, sinasabi, roughly, makukuha mo na kaagad, the value of this building is this much. Now, knowing the value of the property, pagka pumupunta tayo sa bangko, ang laging sinasabi sa atin, pag commercial deals, magkano ang kailangan mong down payment. Diba? It's bigger than buying your residential home. Makakabili tayo dito, 5% down payment, meron ka ng bahay. Diba? Sa commercial properties, which is considered commercial, yung mga multi-families na yan, they're gonna ask for a little bit more down. Ang government natin, well, andyan si Beth, meron silang tinatawag na MLI Select from the CMHC where they can provide loans up to kahit nga 95% meron eh. However, ang kalimitang nagiging downside nun is you can only find those kind of properties in a maybe rough neighborhood. Kasi ang rent nila mapababa and meron silang of course significant cash flow, but it's not really something that you can hold on for a long time. And ako kasi nga as much as possible based on the education that we had with our mentors, it's always good to acquire property na ngayon pa lang, you also consider about the exit. Ito yung isa sa, well, probably this is gonna be on our next topic, next session natin to. Although, ngayon we're trying to understand numbers, but one of the key elements sa investing is when you invest, you should know how to exit. Ang mga properties, especially, example na lang natin, nandito naman tayo lahat halos sa Winnipeg, except, I don't know kung meron sa atin dito na nasa ibang location. I think Gary, nandiyan ka sa Edmonton?
Winnipeg po.
Good evening, Gary.
Good evening po.
Yeah, tama ba? Are you from Edmonton?
Winnipeg po.
Winnipeg din. Okay, alright. I am expecting someone from Edmonton today. Maybe hindi sila naka-attend. So, anyways, we have friends in Edmonton, Calgary, who would really want to understand this kind of idea on multi-family investing. Kasi wherever you go, if you know, or wherever you are, kung alam mo tong information na to, you can spot deals in your area. 100%. Nasaan ka man, makakakita ka. So, it's very important pagdating sa investment in real estate ng multi-family, quote-unquote, MF tayo. Hindi tayo single family, hindi tayo duplex, hindi tayo triplex, fourplex, hindi yun. More doors tayo. Very important yung mga numbers na pinag-uusapan natin. And isa sa nagiging reason kung bakit hindi ganun nagiging successful yung mga nag-enter into this venture is because they just feel so excited and they want to invest. Oh, may pera ako. Meron akong ganito, nakakita ako na pwede pala ako mag-invest sa ganito, and then, there you go, I'll put my money there. Hindi ganoon. Ngayon pa lang, pinag-aaralan natin, pag binili natin tong property na to, we should know how to exit it. Pag ang binili nating properties in Winnipeg ay yung mga properties na nasa downtown, it will produce cash flow. May pera doon. Okay? But look at those properties or properties being sold in the downtown area, like 2 years na, 3 years na, hindi pa nabibili. It stays longer in the market kasi walang may gusto ng portfolio. The best asset that we can buy in multifamily ay yung nasa napakagandang neighborhood na pinag-aagawan. Sabi nga ng aming mentor, kahit may kalaban ka dyan, kahit merong bidding wars yan or whatever yan, merong 3 buyers, 4 na buyers na kalaban ka dyan, go for it. Kasi why? When you exit these people, nakuha mo yon. When you exit these same people or group of people na naging interesado doon, when you're buying it, will also be interested getting it when you exit. Diba? Ganun yung idea when you get in. So when you get into this deal, you should know the exit. But hindi naman natin pinag-uusapan, ibebenta agad natin. Hindi tayo mag-flip dito na binili natin yung apartment and then bebenta natin, no. We have multiple ways to exit. Number 1, yan yung i-discuss na. 1, 2, 3, there are 4 ways to exit. Pero hindi natin di-discuss ngayon. It will be too much for you to understand. Basta ang importante this time is na intindihan nyo, again, for the second time around, yung importance ng the most significant numbers in the multifamily investing is the number of doors. Okay? And then we understand net operating income, which is NOI. Alright? We understand cap rate. Na ito yung rate. Ito yung rate ng income divided by the price kapag wala siyang utang. Okay? That's the cap rate. And there are different kinds of cap rates. Pag pinag-usapan siguro natin very specific ang cap rates, you're gonna understand more. Oh, ito pala yun. Bakit ang cap rate ng downtown 7-8%? Minsan may 10% pa. Bakit yung naandito sa Garden City, yung naandito sa Amber Trail, bakit ang cap rate nila 4 and 5%? So again, just like what I said last time, cap rate has an inverse relationship with price. Kapag mataas ang price, mababa ang cap rate. And then, pag mataas naman ang cap rate, mababa naman yung price. So there is an inverse relationship of the two. So, later on, we'll discuss more about that. But again, valuation of property, kung kukompute natin, ang kailangan lang natin are the 2 numbers pagdating sa napkin calculation na tinatawag. You only need to know how much the net income that property generates and the cap rate ng property na yun, and we can come up with the price. Okay? Vacancy, now you know how to compute vacancy. So the more number of doors we have, kung may umalis mang mga tenants, mas lesser yung percentage of vacancy natin. Or vacancy, mababa ang vacancy rate natin, and then so ibig sabihin, our occupancy rate is higher. Diba? And the better the portfolio that we have, the better is the retention of tenants that we're gonna get. Kaya importante, especially sa atin, in investing, makita natin kung ano bang criteria ang kailangan kong makita in a property. Magandang location is always location. Okay? Real estate yan. And then the second one is susuportahan ba tayo ng bangko pagka binili natin yung property na yun. So happy on our first acquisition on the 28 units. Gustong-gusto talaga ng bank yung property. Kasi tandaan nyo to, sa multifamily investing, which is really not the same as in a home acquisition, pag bumibili tayo ng bahay, tayo yung ini-evaluate ng bangko. That's the fact. Okay? Being a realtor for more than 15 years now, laging ganon. Magmamakaawa tayo sa bangko. Isasubmit namin lahat ng information na kailangan namin para makakuha lang tayo ng pre-approval. Diba? That's the process para makabili tayo ng bahay. In a multifamily or in this arena of real estate investing, ang ini-evaluate ng bangko is the asset. Okay? It's always the asset. Pagka nakita nila that the asset can perform and has cash flow, there you go. You're gonna get debt on that property. Papautangin ka ng bangko dyan. And all you have to do is to find ways to get the down payment, and then there you go. So those are the numbers. Okay, I believe we still have some of the numbers that we're gonna discuss. Next time it's gonna be cash flow, and we'll probably discuss. I'll try to invite one of my friends in who's doing tax, meron siyang tawag nito, idea about taxes. I hope makuha ko yung time niya na libre by next week. And next Tuesday, because we're doing it. This is a series of education on real estate investing every Tuesday night at 6 to 7. So if I can get her, or maybe magkaroon tayo ng update on what's going on with our interest rate. Kasi I believe in the next 6 days, Donald Trump, nakasama si Donald Trump dito, will be sitting on his office, and there will be a change magkakaroon ng changes yan. For sure, inaabangan natin yan. In the real estate, you're not only talking about what's going on with your community, with this kind of commercial deals or whatever. We also talk about the effect of may mga effect on economic thing. So in the US, mas mataas ang interest rate nila doon. Dito sa atin, mas regulated kasi tayo dito eh. So Canada, medyo average pa yung rate natin. But it's always yung dalawang yan. Kung ano nangyayari sa US is also somehow nagsishock na ando nang mangyayari sa Canada and vice versa. So may possible change ang interest rate by next session. Update natin yan. Pag-uusapan natin yan by then. So unless you have a question that I can answer, sana masagot ko yung tanong niyo. We have 3 minutes. Still 3 minutes before 7 o'clock. Otherwise, we can.
So this is a recurring meeting, di ba? Education, learning something. So it is every Tuesday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Okay. So are we going to use the same Zoom meeting?
Yes, kakailanganin na mag-register kayo on the next meeting. But it's the same link.
So the same link, ito yung link na gagamitin natin. Okay.
That's correct. Yeah. Okie dokie. Any questions?
I'm reserving it later on kasi hindi pa complete yung information na hinihintay ko eh.
Exactly. So we're not saying no to an opportunity on small kind of investment. Let's say makakita ka, kapitbahay ko binebenta lang ng ganito, sa akin lang ito ibebenta. Why not? Diba? Why not?
Meron ako naalala pala na isang question. Ito kasing multi-family, so walang investment ang government dito, di ba?
No.
Okay, good. Yun lang gusto ko malaman. Walang pakialam dito yung gobyerno.
Yeah. So tayo ang structure natin dito when we get involved in this kind of tawag nito, investment is a partnership. Ganun ang setup or ganun ang structure natin moving forward. We will gonna get a deal, i-underwrite natin ang deal, i-discuss natin over yung deal, and anyone who's ready to do an investment, we're gonna have yung parang partnership structure.
So you're not thinking about making it like a corporation?
The way it was set up here, medyo masyadong complicated sa Canada ang structure ng partnership. Meron siyang dalawang corporation and the limited partners. So that's how it is being built. The owner of the asset, even if it's the partners that is the owner, partners are the owners of the asset. But the way it is structured in the legal world is merong trust corporation na nag-hold doon sa building or doon sa siya yung naka-carry sa kanya yung pangalan ng property. That's the corporation. Okay. Yeah. So it's a little bit complicated but things paperwork, but because we have done one deal, naintindihan. Medyo madali na maintindihan ngayon. It's just the way it is being structured here in the province. That's how they are. And because we are in Manitoba, here are Manitobans. Ang Manitobans are always the old type of style. Ang mga nasa Ontario, BC, Alberta, they're already doing the electronic signatures. Dito sa atin sa Manitoba, wet ink pa rin ang signatures dito. Kaya those are the things pagdating sa ating mga documentation. So meron pa rin tayong
Old school pa rin.
very old school, and which is, I mean, it's a good way of tawag nito, understanding as well na ang pagpirma natin is being witnessed by the lawyer. Hindi kagaya ng mga nangyayari sa ibang provinces that without really no one looking on what you're doing online, you just have to electronically sign it and done. Dito, medyo matagal. So, but we're so happy we did the first one kasi meron na tayong pattern moving on to the next one. So, yeah. And again, ang target natin is to really grow these numbers from 28. Target natin 500 by the end of 2025. 472 to go. Units. So, okay. There you go. Okay, so it's 7:02. Thank you so much for your time and for ayan yun, I'm so happy na meron tayong ganitong session that we can do at the comfort of our own homes, kung saan man na tayo nandun. And we'll continue to grow together. And then if you have any questions, just reach out. Alam niyo naman, nandito tayo to support and help everyone in this group.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, no problem. Thank you, Beth, for being our tawag nito, one of the new students for the day. And Gary,
Trying to learn more.
yeah, we're continuously learning this stuff though. Even myself, I'm really overwhelmed every single time I'm gonna sit down with my mentor on some sessions. Nakakagulat. There's a lot to understand, and I'm so happy dun sa mga young guns natin dito na batang-bata pa, alam na nila yung kanilang directions into investment.
That's good, right? Tsaka ako, gusto ko to dahil we are helping because there is really a crisis. And if we could have this like yung hindi mahal ang ibig ko sabihin, then we are trying to help out sa community. We're trying to provide solutions sa crisis na nangyayari. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. Thank you again. And
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you po.
Happy
Thank you.
investing, everyone. Okay.
See you on Tuesday.
See you Tuesday. All right. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.